All right. Yeah, let's do it. So, welcome in a new guest today for Figure It Out. We got Tyro joining Steven and I here.
How's it going, Tyro?
All right, how you doing, Steve?
Doing good.
Yeah.
Just woke up.
International.
7 a.m. here.
Over here is 9 a.m.
Yeah, a little early for you too, huh?
Yeah, I'm more of an early bird than a night owl, so it's okay.
I'm getting used to it still.
Man, out here in the Philippines, it's almost midnight.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's almost Monday here.
Wow.
What's the future like? Who's winning the playoffs today?
Yeah, hold on. I'll send you back. I'll send you back the numbers. we already got them.
Right. Yeah, lotteries was at $1 billion.
That's funny he said it because I was just thinking about that.
Right.
You're like, hold on. What was that numbers?
Yeah, we got to figure this out. We can split it up 3 ways and still be good.
I don't know if I'm allowed to use my powers like that, though.
No, I mean, not to get off subject, but what do y'all think of that whole lottery ticket? What do you think? What's the difference from playing and a scratch off and going to the casino? What do you think is the difference? What do you think, in y'all opinion, what do you think is more popular?
Well, I actually worked in a casino.
Probably won and lost
more
money.
I didn't see that coming.
Right. I'll let you go first, Aphiah.
Yeah. No, I was just being silly. Go ahead. You're the one with the experience.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, I think of going to a casino and playing as more of an experience, like something fun to do. Whereas, I mean, when you play a scratcher, that's like an instant thing. You're just trying to win money. But yeah, I don't know. There's different ways of looking at it because I mean, I'm not a hardcore gambler either. So
yeah, where I used to live, man, people would travel from all over the states to come down there and just to come down the road. So, but it trips me out every now and again. Though you go around to a convenience store or something like that, and you see people they'll find some wood and knock on them, and they'll find them a little penny and they'll scratch off. Like if you remember that movie called House Guest, when he was like big spin. I'll be looking at them and thinking of that movie every time I see them do a scratch off. My dad was like that back in the day. He'd do that all the time.
And jumping into what we were talking about last time. So that election, Stephen and I were watching the election last time. Speaking of like seeing things and then it just changing. Man, it was like, Trump was up by so much, like it was like impossible for Biden to win. And then they just said, all right, we're gonna stop counting. I was like, hey, Stephen, have they ever just like stopped counting in the middle of the election before? He's like, no, I don't know why. I was like, well, what's the reason they're giving? And he's like, I don't know. I guess they'll finish counting tomorrow. And then Stephen went to bed and I was actually up. And then all of a sudden, like with no announcement or anything, I just saw all the votes jump, like just millions of Biden counts and with no Trump. I was like, all right, is that even possible? like you're telling me Biden just got like 2 million votes and no Trump votes? It's like, what the heck just happened? And then when Stephen woke up, he called me. He's like, hey, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. I don't understand what happened. So yeah, what do you think about? What do y'all think about that whole scenario there?
Well, if I can speak on it, this is gonna blow both of y'all minds, and it might not. my mom had a premonition. I remember me, you was talking about that yesterday. She had a premonition that she had a dream 3 years ago that somehow Biden was going to come into power unexpectedly, like no reason, none of that type of stuff. And when he does come into power, and it wasn't, I'm going to say this also, it wasn't that he never was in power. He's actually been behind the scenes over the last 8 years. So it was almost like it was predestined for him to win somehow. So in the dream, my mom had, she kept seeing everything that's happening in the world, not really the virus part, but everything from the White House, men standing around, garden and stuff like that. And then somehow within the coming year, Biden ended up being president. It was like it was predestined. It was almost like God was like 3 years ago was like, look, this is what you're gonna have to look out for because this is coming to pass. And then I talked to her the other day. I said, Mom, do you remember that from 3 years ago? And she said, yeah, because I had that dream 3 years in a row. I said, oh man, I didn't know you had that dream 3 years in a row. I didn't know that. And so it's like, it's kind of like plays into it. I know it seems like it's not really explaining what you're saying about the numbers and stuff like that, but it's one of those things where it's like, as some people say, everything happens for a reason. Nah, not really. I would say, in my opinion, everything was predestined to happen, even what people assumed it wouldn't happen. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. Like, because the only real reason why I won't speak too harshly on it, because I don't know who y'all, I don't know, everybody. I'm not really into politics, but I know everybody has a specific side that they're on. You know what I mean? I guess you could say, I don't know if somebody's pro-Trump or pro-Biden or whoever, you know what I mean? So I don't know what your guys take on that, Mike. But what I'm saying is, all that in a nutshell, I'm saying that when he won, or if he won, I wasn't shocked.
Okay.
I
Steven,
yeah,
you had something to
I
add on that?
wasn't really shocked either. I mean, there's all these accusations getting thrown around about cheating and stuff, but I think both sides cheat every election. So the Democrats cheated better this time. They got the win.
Oh, one more thing. Let me
You-
conclude on one more thing.
Steven said, forget that. Forget there was cheating this time. He said, I have no faith in our system. He said, there's always cheating.
Let me conclude on
president.
one more thing I want to conclude on. Also, when that happened, the next following day, my mom, she just kind of woke up and told me something. This is another thing she told me 3 years ago. She told me that somehow, after that happened, then an unspoken war that was supposed to come out of nowhere was going to happen. And guess what happened? All of a sudden you hear something about something going on in Syria, something going on over there in Israel, and then all of a sudden it's like wars going on right after all that happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's crazy because people, they're not paying attention to that. The whole world stood still when George Floyd had something happen, right? But then when the election goes on, everybody's paying attention to the election, but they're not paying attention to what's going on outside the states. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, people will figure out from there. I'm just saying it's something. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because it draws a lot of attention, because, even people out here watch the election really closely. And then, I got for one of my jobs, I got a lot of students that I teach from all over the world. And for a while, I was taking on just mainly like Japanese students, and like they're really into like a lot of them. You'd be surprised, like they know more about the election and American politics than a lot of Americans do, man. Like they're seriously watching it, what happens there, because like a lot of the foreign policies really affects countries here in Asia. Like as far as, are we gonna give protection for, like, Japan and Philippines against China, because there's a lot of encroachments there, to where Japan's like, hey, hold up, because Japan doesn't even have their own military, really. It's under the control of the U.S. So they're really dependent upon what goes on with U.S. politics, and it's like, the same thing here with Philippines. So, like, I mean, there wouldn't even really be an economy if it wasn't for the Commonwealth stuff of, America establishing a lot of things here, especially, for their time occupying here after they, basically freed them from Spain. But so, like, the U.S. election, like, it has a lot of weight, like, around the world, and yeah, it's just great. So it's like, yeah, look here, but what's going on over here? And a big one of the proponents that I really like about Trump, that you said, regardless of how people, like, feel about him or anything, the thing is, he was making peace deals in the Middle East, which was, like, unforeseen territory, and, like, how you're saying, there might be, like, some wars coming out of nowhere. I was reading something about that too. There's been quite a few people, like, little movements of saying, like, hey, like, we need to keep this going, otherwise, like, war's gonna break out and it's gonna be bad, and
Yeah,
it's gonna
remember?
be it's gonna be like, I don't know, I don't know exactly how it's gonna happen, but, like, they're saying basically like a world war, but not it's not gonna be like how it was done at, like, the World War. It's gonna be more like technological and discreet, and, like, with like trade blocks and all kinds of like backdoor deals.
More like
Um,
Cold War type thing.
Let me tell you something. There's another thing too.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't realize this also. They got some people depending on, they don't even really have anything to do with your personal beliefs. And sometimes and I'm talking about religion wise, if people actually sit back and they pay attention to things, if anybody can actually conclude on anything, it would be the whole thing that they always used to talk about all the time. Rumors of wars, rumors of wars, right? So now we're in that situation now. They talk about that 10-year setup out of nowhere, where they're talking about it's going to be rumors of wars, right? And then out of nowhere, it's going to be like some type of peace, right? And then when that some type of peace happens, that's who's going to be on the rise. It's going to be well, I ain't going to say, it's going to be the so-called, who's supposed to be the so-called, who's supposed to be the
Right.
off. You know what I'm trying to say? So,
Exactly. The so-called, who's going to lead us to the so-called, but he's really just to make more power for the so-called. Yeah, you talking that Revelation time. Speaking of Revelation theories, do y'all think we're in the last days? And not just because, like, right, because there's different phrases on that, right? Because anything could be the last days after Christ, right? And, like, because you got the leading up to the Old Testament, right? That was the Father being revealed to mankind. Then in the New Testament kingdom, right, you have Jesus Christ being revealed, and then now we're living in where the Holy Spirit has been revealed, and then it's kind of the Holy Spirit is helping guide us to whatever comes next.
Yeah.
like for instance, like this is
meaning if you're a sheep or a goat or what have you.
Well, check this out. There's another thing too. Like, a lot of people,
everybody hate Trump, right? Not everybody, but there's a good percent. But people have
the people who hate him really hate him.
So one people didn't pay attention to a gem. Trump was dropping gems, regardless of how ridiculous it might sound. He was dropping gems the whole time he was in office, right? But people never picked up on some of those gems. But one gem that I did recognize that nobody recognized, I don't think, was Trump, sound of trumpet. Trump,
trumpet. That's what I started realizing over time. I said, that is interesting that somebody that doesn't have any type of real, I ain't gonna say, we'll just say, doesn't seem like he will be fit to be a president. Now, a lot of people say he would have been fit to be like some kind of, somewhere dealing up along the lines, dealing with like financial, maybe, I've heard people say that way before he was even president, like way before he was president. I heard people say he might not be fit to be a president, but I could see him somehow like making some kind of this is before everybody knew what it was, but it's like somehow we could see him fixing the economy. This is how people used to talk like 4 or 5 years ago, way before he was even president, like way before he was president. I heard people say that. And then he comes out of nowhere and then somehow he becomes president, right? So some people were saying that they believe that Trump was put in place for a reason because he was supposed to do one thing. He was supposed to protect Israel. Somehow he was supposed to protect Israel, but I don't know if that really happened. I think it might have happened, but I don't think it really happened. I don't
He
think it
did
really
help.
Well,
He did
well, it
change a
was.
lot out there. He
Yeah,
recognized.
yeah,
Sorry, let's
Yeah,
go.
go ahead,
I,
Steven.
what
Go
would you
ahead,
say?
Steven.
Oh yeah, no, I'll let you go, Aphiah. It's your turn,
Oh,
man.
I was gonna say just like with the peace deals over there in Israel, and finally getting their neighbors to like lay off them and everything else there, and moving and moving the embassy to Jerusalem. But I just wanted to comment quickly too. Like you saying the trumpets, that gave me like the matter. Like I wonder if Trump was supposed to be a trumpet, then what would be the walls of Jericho? Is the Middle East gonna like spiral out now, or like? But yeah. What were you gonna add to that, Steven?
Oh, I was just talking about how he recognized. He's the first president to recognize Jerusalem, right?
Somewhere
Yeah.
around the lines, yeah, somewhere around that.
I was just saying, like, I was just going along with that. He did a lot out there as far as making changes to try to bring peace out there, at least for Israel. I don't know about the neighbors.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, he pulled us out of a lot of wars that we were in.
Yeah.
And the ones that we were like still kind of even still, he pulled us out of those. Really, like I mean, we still had troops over there, but like there was no more fighting. Yeah, it's interesting. By the way, update: we got like 5 minutes on this one. When the room ends, we just jump to the. We'll re-enter the next room. I'll send you the room link again.
Okay.
all right.
But yeah.
You distracted us, man.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit, 5 minutes. But yeah, what? Yeah, so like, what else? Like, what do you think? What do you think, Stephen? Like it's like end time things. Like, what do you think about all those theories?
I don't know, because got a lot of crazy shit going on right now. Out here between the whole coronavirus shutdown and all the different info. Like every day it's something different with that. I'm checking the news every day and it's we got a vaccine. Oh, there's a new strain. Oh, this many people have died now. This kind of it's always something with that every single day.
Steve, I want to ask you a question. Not to cut you off. I want to ask you a question. It's a random question, but you don't have to answer in other words, I just want to ask you, what are you in the States? What coast are you on? Are you on the Gulf Coast, the East Coast, or the West Coast? You don't gotta
I'm
say
in
where.
California. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
just north of Sacramento.
Oh, okay. Oh, so that explains that. Okay. So I have an uncle that's living. He lived in California, and
he ended up having to move to Nevada for work because it slowed up over there, kind of like what you're talking about, the shutdown. And he was driving for years out there. But when it ended up slowing up for him, it had something to do with those what they call it, wildfires. We're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with wildfires, but but I don't want to speak too much, but I'm just saying we're gonna go with wildfires.
Yeah, we all know they weren't all started naturally, but
yeah.
The electric company is always magically disappearing when those happen. Like, oh, like, yeah, no, yeah, our wires may have like got hit in there, but I don't know how that started. Really.
Well, have y'all ever heard of this is what they have out here. Have y'all ever heard what was it that my cousin said the other day? He was like, you can't barbecue out here. And I was like, why you can't barbecue? I see people barbecuing out here. And it was like, no, you can't barbecue out here because they got this thing called something burns. Something what is
it's
it
like
called?
a no burn day or whatever.
Yeah, it was another term they used, but it was something that I asked myself, I was seeing no signs around here that says that. Where are you seeing it? It was like, no, you go to the fire station, they got that. I own that. Like, you can't cook, barbecue, none of that out here. And I was like, man, if that's like that out here, I can imagine how it is in California.
Right. Oh yeah. No, and we do have days. They do regulate that here too. Mostly with the farming communities. And there's a lot of farming here in Central California. And there's only certain days where they can burn all their extra brush and whatnot.
Wow, man, that's crazy, bro. Man. So in other words, what you're saying is like y'all can't barbecue either.
I've never heard anything about barbecuing, but I know they have specific days where they can burn like all their extra branches and trees and stuff that they got to get rid of. They have specific days that they can burn those. But I've never heard of them regulating barbecuing. That's another extreme right there.
Yeah.
I'd be mad if they told me I couldn't barbecue.
Yeah, and she said that, and I really, and this is like coming like over, going into the fall, and I looked around and I would smell barbecue, but I would never see nobody outside barbecuing. It was crazy. It was crazy. So that means somebody was barbecuing on the low.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. You got to sneak to barbecue.
They gotta hide that smoke.
Yo, out here they went full draconian with the lockdown measures. It's great. Like you can't even walk outside unless you got a mask on. Like, nonetheless, like, okay, I get like going into the buildings and like, all right, the establishment's gonna like make you wear the mask to keep the store open, right? But like even like outside, it's like Roman, if you're next to no one, walking down the street by yourself, like what the heck? What do I need a mask on for? Like, if the virus is gonna like jump out.
I was making fun of.
What's that?
So I was just making fun of people out here the other day. I'll see people driving around with the mask on. All their windows are up and everything in their car. And
oh yeah, that's common here. That's common.
What are you worried about?
Mask. All right. Yeah. But yeah. So we were saying
masks and cars.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny seeing. It's funny seeing people be rocking the car all the time. But yeah, and being able to just like, and people will like come up, like they'll get close to you and be like, "Why aren't you wearing a mask?" Like if you're like walking outside, it's like, "Well, I was fine until you decided to come next to me." And so now there's a chance of if there is a virus, they getting contracted because you wanted to walk up right next to me. When we were across the street from each other, did it really matter?
That's funny that you said that, because I have two things to conclude on that. One of my past jobs that I used to work with, I used to deliver furniture. And this is right when this stuff was starting to get kind of crazy. around the area where I was at. And I didn't, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really like wearing a mask, because of what whatever. I didn't really like wearing it, but I wore it only because I wanted to blend in. I was like, I'm gonna be a ninja today, so I'm gonna put my mask on, pretend to be a ninja. That's what I'm gonna think in my mind all day long, right? I go to this lady's house, we're delivering, and this lady, I'm telling you, man, like she was tripping. I'm not gonna lie, because she just came straight up to me and just started yelling like she had no mask on, first of all. And then she just started saying, why you got a mask on in my house? Like, what the reason why you need a mask on in my house? I ain't got no virus. I ain't got no virus. And in my mind, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I feel you. I really do feel where you're coming from. I feel you. And then it didn't come out from the back of my mind. It came out of my mouth a different way. It was like, ma'am, first of all, I'm wearing this mask because of regulations of me working this job. That's the only reason why I'm wearing it. Second of all, I'm wearing it to blend in. And then third, I don't know if I can believe you. So I'm gonna wear my mask for me, not for you, for me. And she said, oh, my bad, baby. I didn't mean to come at you. I was like, nah, I said, I feel what you're coming from. And I'm just letting you know.
I totally
the energy,
understand. It's understandable. It could be almost insulting. You walk into somebody's house with a mask on, like, oh, you think I'm dirty or something?
Yeah. So I understand.
Yeah, because it's like it's implanting that kind of psyche. That's really like one of the there's a lot of reasons I'm against the mask, but like one of the biggest reasons is like it really instills it into the psyche. Like, oh, my neighbor is unclean. I don't want them to be near me. I think they need a mask on. If they don't have a mask on, I need to let them know how good of a person I am and how bad of a person they are for not wearing the mask. It's just like this weird like whole like elitism and divide. Like if they wear a mask, are they not wearing a mask? Like, and it's just like. It's like, well, why are we? I don't like how it's making people look at their neighbor like, oh, are they on my side or are they enemy based on if they have a mask on? I just think if you want to wear a mask, you want to protect your health, go ahead. If you're not, then like, hey, then take precautions, use social distancing, but
and that thing goes to me again, man. I'm such a rebel, guys. Like, I'm such a rebel to the point where when that whole term social distancing came up, I was really insulted. I said, oh man, they talking about social distancing. I've been anti-social my whole life. Not purposely. I'm insulted.
I've been distancing myself from everybody. What do you mean?
Yeah. So this is crazy, man. This is crazy. But yeah, I don't think I didn't like was like around the holidays. Like when I seen my aunties, I haven't seen in like 10 years. I was offended, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like they wanted to hug me and then they kind of like they stepped back and then my other auntie, she was like, you good? I was like, yep, we good. All right, say a prayer. All right, we all good. And then we all start hugging each other. Like we'll forget that, bro.
But yeah, and that brings me. Speaking of like the mask and so Steven, Tyro, and I were when we were catching up the other night. We were talking about how we both happen to have like really bad asthma when we were kids, and I was telling him how like I really feel like there's something going on like in the air right now. Like I can't really pinpoint on what it is, but homie, like I have not had like I grew out of asthma from like always playing sports, like always running outside when I was a kid. So I eventually just grew out of it. I haven't had to use my inhaler in forever. But then you know what? Like right before this whole pandemic thing happened, I went and I started like kind of having a little something again. So like I was like, oh, then I'm gonna be out of the country for a while. So I went when I went back to the States for a couple months. I re-upped on all my. I got a couple more inhalers and stuff just in case. And I finally have to like be using them again, like all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, like I have, you know what I mean? And it's like, and I haven't had to use that for years.
Yeah, I actually had asthma growing up too. Did a lot of swimming though. My parents put me in like swimming classes and stuff. So
So you
that helped
you
a
out
lot.
Steve. So Steve, you outgrew yours because you learned how to really breathe. Huh? So,
Yeah, my doctor recommended swimming, and so my parents put me in a bunch of swimming classes. It's supposed to be really good for you. Yeah.
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But I'm with both of y'all. I just know I'm with both of y'all. I know.
Asthma sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, it's like annoying that I'm like having to deal with that. It's like, oh, because like when I remember like like when I was playing basketball, football, baseball, it's like, yeah, I ain't got no asthma no more. Like I'm all pro, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so it's just like it's come back out of nowhere. It is weird, dude. Like when all
I think I only had
around.
I only had 3 asthma attacks in my whole life by far. 3.
Hey, one's enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
For real.
One of I say maybe 2. One of them I might have had a panic attack or something like that. It felt like I was having asthma. But sure, when I was 7 years old, I had an asthma attack, and probably when I was 18, I had an asthma attack. And then that last one probably was like a panic attack, maybe. But it felt like it reminded me of what an asthma attack felt like. I was just hyperventilating and all that stuff like that. But back to what you was talking about, Noodles. I had the same experiences recently, bro. So I know what you're talking about. Now, the only reason why I didn't mention it to my family, they can see, but they can't see, bro. That's it, so to speak. So I see, I know. Because the air does seem a little like it got some cinnamon in that air. Just gonna say that. Bro.
Yeah, right. It's like it's just something different about the air. Like, it's like like what I mean. I've just had like my asthma kind of flare up where I had like like a little bit of but it's like more like a prolonged thing. Like, but then boom, I hit my inhaler in the morning and then I'm good. But other than that, like I mean, I haven't been sick at all or nothing. And so it's like, dude, like what is going on this past year? It was weird.
Another conspiracy.
Man,
it's funny. That's funny.
No, we're past the era of conspiracies. Everything's
You know what?
It's all happening. It's all happening now.
It's just
it's not conspiracy theory. It's theory that you experience. That's what it is.
Yeah. I'm theoretically experiencing this right now.
Yeah, man.
But it's scary. All this stuff is like, I don't want to speak too much on it, but all this stuff is nothing but scare tactics, bro. It's scare tactics. It's scare tactics, bro. Like, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. It's scare tactics.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. This whole thing has been manipulated from day one because like it's like the way that they've used this virus for political methods and stuff. And then even how it started, like it started out in like a lab in China, and they're like, oh no, don't look at that though. It didn't start in that lab in China. Like, what do you mean? Everybody in China is getting sick.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Okay. You say your profession is something dealing with teaching?
Well, it's like my side job. It's really what I do for fun, and I happen to get paid for is teaching English.
Okay.
Yeah, I was doing there's some big like Japanese English teaching schools here, like the biggest one in Manila and Cebu out here. Because for whatever reason, these Filipinos who can hardly speak English, they got all the Japanese like, oh, they really speak good English, and so we got them coming out here to learn English. Because what it is though is the Philippines, they have a pretty neutral tone as far as like the Asian world for speaking English. So like a lot of the Japanese really have an easier time like learning from them. So I had a lot of Japanese students, so I was doing that. But now I have students from all over. I just take like private lessons with whoever wants to.
That's cool. The reason why I brought that, the reason
from Syria, from
wow,
from Ukraine, from Russia, like all over. I got a couple from Portugal. But yeah.
The reason why I brought that up is because with teaching comes some type of reading, and reaching back to reading. Ironically, we all read from time to time. But how long do you think it's been since we read the back of a bottle of what's being used to so-called kill what's supposed to be killed? How long do you think it's been since we really like zoomed in and like, I didn't know that was on there. Matter of fact, wait a minute, I don't even like drinking that beer no more because what's on that beer? Why is that beer got a lime in it all the time? You know what I'm saying? So I wonder if people sat back and thought about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't even like drinking that beer.
Steven can share some experience about not drinking beer anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even drink that beer no more, bro.
Changed on that.
I quit drinking. So.
I'm just saying that beer, man. I'm not just talking about any beer. I'm just saying that beer that is even showing on commercials a lot lately over the past coming years. I was like, wow, the whole time that name's been on there. Interesting. I didn't actually like the name of that beer, to be honest. You know, I don't know. Just me, man. I don't know. But what I was saying is like, it's crazy that we read, but we don't read. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's amazing, kind of going back to what Duels was saying. It's been over there, but it gets blamed for being over there. But when it gets over here or wherever, then all of a sudden it's a blame game. And how do you start? How you post blame on somebody? You start up a frenzy, and then somehow race gets involved all over again, and then it just goes from there. You know, I don't know, bro. It just nothing. When they say that term, nothing seems to amaze me anymore. I really stand by that. I've been standing by that since I was 5 years old.
Yeah, it's either that or you're just gonna stand through all of 2020 and 2021 like. Just like, just like mouth open, like in that. Oh my goodness!
Like when they was talking about 2020 vision, I was just sitting back. I was like, man, let me put my shades on because I don't know what they talking about, bro. Like I never had 2020 vision. I wanted Superman's vision. That's what I wanted.
Right.
Hey, y'all know one of my favorite anime. I don't know if you guys heard of it. It's called Paranoia Agent. And it's so sick because like I feel like it really taps into like what's going on right now as far as like this show's about like this whole paranoia starts going throughout the whole city, right? Because there's this girl, like she tells this lie, and then it just builds up into something else. So she has to keep the lie going because now it's like part of her career. And then other people start adding into the lie, gossiping and adding, and then then the rumors start going around like, oh, actually it's this, no, actually it's that, and it just keeps building up and building up until the whole city is just overwhelmed with paranoia. And then it breaks out to where like this paranoia, this whole thing of like imagination, it spills out into reality. And so it's like this battle of reality versus, this imaginary world of lies that was just like in the figment of this one person's creation. And then it just manifested into reality. And now you have the whole city like destroyed by these real imaginary things that are now like real. They're imaginary, but they're now in reality. So the city's being torn apart by imagination.
Can I conclude on that? and maybe Steve, you might have seen these before. Okay, I used to be a major movie buff, right? I used to watch a lot of movies, but now I don't really like watching movies as much. I'll be honest, I haven't really watched TV the same in probably 2.5 years. And if I watch TV or Netflix or whatever, I every now and again I tap in. So the point I'm bringing this up is I can't look at anything the same anymore because I'm gonna make a real point in a second, but I'm gonna use movies for a second. Okay, these are the movies that stand out to me from 7 years old all the way up to now. This movie called Body Snatchers. This movie called They Live. This movie called Demolition Man. This movie called Resident Evil. This movie called, you know what I'm saying? I can go on and on and on and on, but I'm just saying, what's going on with all that? That's all I'm gonna say. Why is those specific movies seem to be those specific movies? That's all I'm saying. And there's a lot of similarity to what happened in those movies is what's happening now, or came to pass. You know, that's all I'm saying. What y'all think? Y'all seen any of those movies? Body Snatchers, Demolition Man, They Live, and of course Resident Evil. What y'all think about those films?
Hopefully it's not gonna turn out like Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I get that though. Yeah, we're it's like we've lost control of everything really. You let these big corporations have all the power, and then one of them makes a mistake, like in Resident Evil, and the whole world's fucked because of it. Yeah.
Well, that movie when they talk about Umbrella, not gonna speak too much. I'm just gonna say I've been seeing the vehicles. That's all I'm gonna say. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. So I don't know.
Amazon.
It's one of those things.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's when what is it? All power corrupts all things. Like whenever you let any one person or any one group or something have too much power over everything. I was talking. Bishop Barron actually put out a thing the other day of like, oh, big corporations and big government and like that. And back there in the States, that's kind of what the fight has like added into it mistakenly, because I think most people really just want to live their freaking life, man. But then then people get swept up in these politic things. But you got one side who keeps wanting to make the government bigger, and then the other side who's like, no, we don't want to make the government bigger, but then they go ahead and let corporations get really big because they want to say just, capitalism is going to like solve all the problems when that's not true. It's like, yeah, capitalism, it's brought us a lot of benefit, especially over like socialism or something, but it can't just be all that. We need some other checks and balances things. And they're like, it's like whether you just let the government get too powerful or if you let these corporations get too powerful, everything's going to go out of whack. And that's why I said whether it's big government, big corporations, big tech, big pharmacy, all that stuff, there needs to be something that cuts them and keeps them in balance, because the power has to stay with the people. Because my thing is, people, a lot of people want to agree with this, because a lot of people have gone kind of like atheists nowadays. But I think the only thing that needs to be big is to have a big God. If God is big over everybody's lives, everybody's gonna stay cool, man.
Well, I will say this.
Power goes off the rails. Yeah, go on.
No, I ain't mean to cut you off, dude. But what I will say is, like, I seen something very, very disturbing. You know of the follower, the chosen disciple, the one that follows in Reverb Nation. I don't know if you know him on IG or not, but anyway, he had
chosen disciple. I might have seen him back when I was on there.
Okay. well, the point of what I'm saying is, he has shared a post to me that was very disturbing, showing the new president, but in front of it was showing, let's just say, that symbol that looks like a plus sign that a lot of us know, uh, those were upside down for some reason. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No, I
yeah.
noticed that they removed like a lot of the cross symbols. Now, like, yeah, the only cross emoji is the ugly looking one with the purple. It's like, what happened to the real cross? It's like, because you only can do the one that has the weird like border around it. Yeah, I know
Mhm.
that's and there used to be like a few options, but I think so. Like the only way you could do it is you have to go to like like Emojipedia or like one of those sites, and you have to like copy and paste it from there. Maybe I think
Mhm.
then you do it. But all the ones on the phone, all the crosses are gone.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. I know. It's kind of like magic, right? But we know it's not like magic.
Yeah, but it's a trip though, bro. I'm just saying it's a trip.
But I noticed you said something earlier. What was it that you said earlier? Like, okay, let me ask you. Let's talk about something that's positive. I don't want to change off the subject. Okay, what is the last time both of you have ever smiled without thinking about it that you can think of? Or what is the last time you thought of something that made you smile and you didn't think about anything else? Can you name that one thing? Me, what makes me smile is writing poetry. I could be deep in thought and poetry, I could forget about everything that's going on. Or I used to listen to music every day, and that would make me smile every time. You know what I'm saying? So what is something that what's something that makes y'all smile automatically without even thinking?
Man, for me it'd be my wife. She'd be cracking me up all the time. Especially we come into a lot of translation errors, being that obviously my Tagalog is like toddler level, and her English is good, but still sometimes there's like some phrasing issues. So even just like through regular conversation, we'd be like, what'd you say? Or she'd be like, what are you trying to say? And like we'll just start cracking up laughing at us trying to speak the other language.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. What about you, Steve?
I mean, yeah, I enjoy music too. I don't know. I guess as far I don't just like anything that makes me smile. I don't know. Like hanging out with friends, hanging out with family. Those, like just as far as like not even thinking about it or anything like that. Just something that puts a smile on my face. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, being around people that are close to me.
Well, see, that's good things. That's the point I'm getting at is it's getting to a point where people don't even smile anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't be able to tell even with a mask on sometimes, but sometimes I made a post a while back and I said I was walking around the neighborhood. I can't remember the last time you walked outside your house, went and got your newspaper, went and took the trash out, went and did a jog around the corner, and somebody says, "Hey neighbor, how's your day going?" Walk around in the grocery store. "Hey, how you doing? Hey, how's your day going?" Now it's you know what I mean? Like I'm just saying, like to me, it sucks, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It's almost like everybody's gonna have anxiety and depression.
I know exactly what you're talking about too. I just said hi to one of my neighbors the other day, and they just kind of looked up and looked away. I'm like, oh, don't talk, man.
Yeah.
What the hell, man? I thought we were cool.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been noticing that too, because I think part of it is just always covering our face, like that like that's what I was saying, like going back to like of how that plays on our psyches, like our facial expressions is so much of how we talk, like even if, like without the words, usually like because if it's a stranger, like a lot of times especially if you're in the city, you ain't trying to say hello to everyone, like so maybe you just give them a smile, like hey, keep
Yeah,
on with your day, like give them.
yeah,
But now with the mask on, it's like, like what, you're gonna like smile on them,
yeah.
like okay, you know what I mean? So it's like we just lost a huge level of human communication. Like going around seeing your neighbor, like yeah, just a simple smile that means so much. Like people don't realize like how much like say even if you're having a hard day and like someone just gives you a smile, like oh man, that kept me going through the day. You know what I mean? Like we don't really even think about those little things that keep us going. That is removed by these masks.
Yeah,
Mm.
we've all been forced to be isolated in more ways than one. Not just being stuck at home, but like even when you do go out, yeah, everybody's got to stay 6 feet away from each other and wear a mask and all that. It's yeah,
Yeah, man.
there's no social life anymore for anybody really.
And,
It's all we're all
And
isolated.
this is a crazy thing, right? I was in a hotel and I was getting in the elevator. Of course, you look around on the floor and you see around. They tell you this is where you got to stand and all that stuff like that. There was a pretty girl. She's going in the elevator. They had a mask on, and I said, "Hi, hey, how's it going?" And she was saying, "Hey, how's it going?" And as we got in the elevator, I said, "Huh." But me and her wasn't standing the distance that they were talking about. And I told her, I said, "It's funny. They want us to stand a certain distance, but they forgot about elevators, didn't they? So what they're gonna say? Only 2 people on the elevator?" She started laughing. She said, "Yeah, they forgot about that part." You know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah,
she was laughing, and she said, "You know what? You're she was just like, I was like, you have a good day." And she was like, but in the look on her face, she took a mask off too, and the look on her face, she was smiling because she probably was smiling either because she was like, wow, so people are still friendly out there. And then it didn't feel like the type of nervousness, you know what I'm talking about? Like, automatically feeling nervous because what, I'm a stranger, or you feeling nervous because of what's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm.
So it's been a long time and probably about 3 years since I walked around and I ain't gonna lie, I do meet people every now and again, and they'll be like, okay, but the job I just left, I just use that as an example. Okay, everybody that was at that particular job, they didn't want me to have to leave. I had to leave for a reason, but they didn't want me to go. They didn't want me to go. So I did bro hugs and handshakes and daps with these people. And there's one person, I ain't gonna put her name out there. I'm just gonna say Miss S. She was a teacher. And I guessed, I don't know what it is, bro, but it's like sometimes I can kind of like guess what about a person sometimes. I don't know what it is. But somehow one day I said, I don't know why, but I feel like he used to be a teacher or something like that. And me and her never even talked about it. She just kept laughing and laughing and laughing because I was a teacher at one point in our life. So at the end, when she seen me leave, she ended up being a manager that trained me. So when I ended up having to leave, I was going to shake her hand. That's just a gentleman's way of saying whatever. And I was going to shake her hand, but she pushed my hand away and then pulled me in and gave me a hug. And I said to myself, I say, see, this person gets it. This person gets it because of the simple fact that you're not going to be controlled as much as you have control of your own self. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, this person gets it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, and then the other people that seen what she did, I was going to shake their hand. They pushed my hand away and did the same thing. And they gave me and came in with a bro hug. And said, we'll catch up with you. And I was like, okay, these people are starting to get it. I say, okay, these people understand that you're in control of yourself.
yeah.
And as long as you're in control of yourself, that means you're still in control of your emotions. You're still in control of your thoughts, and you can in control of how you want to feel. You know what I mean? And once people in the world start to realize that, once again, then there ain't nothing that's going to be overpowered. But I don't know, man. I don't know why I went. I don't know.
I love it. You get it all inspired.
No, this is great. We're getting positive now. This has been a kind of a dark show.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, man. I mean, I don't know, bro. I'm just saying, like, they got some people out there that,
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's those little gestures though that make such a big difference. So that slapping your hand out of the way and giving you a real hug, yeah, that means something. You got to take that with you. Whereas if you just shook their hand, we wouldn't be talking about that moment right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially right now when everybody's like, just like, oh, all right, I gotta be threatened by my neighbor because that's the other thing. Is it's like, you know, normally when you see someone coming up on you with a mask, it's like a bandit or something.
Right.
So it's already like from our old programming, it's like, oh, that's a bandit coming up, and now it's like, no, that's how everyone is now. So it's like weird, but like, yeah, but when you just like go through and you're like, nah, forget all this. I'm gonna give a hug to my neighbor. It's like, boom. It's like breaking through the matrix. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what's all this noise like?
And check it out, nothing bad happened.
What's that?
I was like, look, nothing bad happened.
Hey, duels, bro. You mentioned another movie. I don't know how I left that one out.
Yeah, especially that one's been really up there, especially because like Elon Musk said something about red pill and blue pill, and Twitter was going crazy, bro. Like it just bro said like, oh, how dare he say that, or the other one, and then one of the I guess they were the Wachowski brothers, but I guess they had a sex change now. So, and they're like, hey, don't use our red pill, blue pill.
Hey, you know what's funny though, bro? Fun fact. Did you know Will Smith was supposed to play Neo in the Matrix, bro?
Oh, I think I did hear that.
Yeah. Will Smith was supposed to play Neo in the Matrix, but he passed it up to do Wild Wild West. You know.
Oh. I did enjoy Wild Wild West when I was a kid.
Will Smith's agent probably be making fun of about that with him today. He's like, hey, remember that time I told you to play the Matrix and you said you wanted to play Wild Wild West? Remember that?
He still made plenty of money. He's doing fine.
Yeah, that movie, it bombed at box office. That might have been one of Will's first movies to bomb at box office. But somehow on TV, it like blew up, bro. Like, I don't understand. Like, they was showing that every single day. I was like, wow, he got more publicity. And he'll diss it. He'll be like, yeah, man, that movie sucked, bro. But hey, I had fun.
Yeah, that's one of those movies where you gotta ignore the fact that it doesn't actually make any sense. And just enjoy it for what it is.
Like, one of my favorites. I like Fifth Element. Fifth Element, like when that movie first came out, I didn't understand it when I was a kid. And then years later, I watched it over and over again. I was like, man, this movie's kind of cool. This movie's kind of cool. I get it. You know what I'm saying? So it's stupid. If you think too hard, it might not be that great, but if you don't think too hard,
you gotta turn your brain off a little bit. Yeah.
It's like that movie, Dude, Where's My Car? Dude, Where's My Car? You know this movie's gonna be stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Where's My Car is gonna be stupid. You don't care because you just want to laugh a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta mentally prepare yourself for those kind of movies.
And you know what's funny? Those movies that
or mentally unprepared,
I thought of that too. I was saying it. Yeah, I was like, that's not even the right word.
You gotta unmentally prepare.
I remember this other movie. I don't know if you guys remember this movie. This movie called Kung Pao. Kung Pao. I don't know if you remember that crazy movie.
I remember hearing.
Yeah.
It's like a movie where this dude is like pretending to be like. If you ever seen that movie called, oh man, I just forgot about it.
I was making fun of those old kung fu movies, though, right?
Yeah. It's kind of like Kung Fu Hustle or something like that. But that's basically what it's kind of like. It's kind of like Kung Fu Hustle. But when that movie came out, man, like we knew, we was like, man, we just gonna go laugh at something stupid. We don't care. And I missed them times too, man. We used to go to movies. We would always see all the biggest hit movies, but every now and again, when there's nothing playing, was like Kung Pao was one of them. Where's My Car was another one of them. And then movie theaters. That's another thing.
Speaking of that, are they playing there back in the States? Because there's still no theaters here.
We opened back up for a minute here, and then they shut everything back down.
Yeah, you know what they was trying to do? They was trying to bring back drive-in theaters. Drive-in theaters
Yeah.
where you go and you sit in your car. And I asked my dad about that back in the day. I said,
They
man, how was
should
that
bring
back
those
then?
back. I love drive-ins. That was
Oh
like
yeah,
I've never
yeah,
experienced it.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
that was like a rite of passage right there, man.
Yeah, yeah, man. See, drive-in, they was trying to use Walmart parking lots to take up some of the space in Walmart parking lots to open up more drive-in theaters. So I was like,
Hmm. That
interesting.
could work.
But Netflix is winning right now, bro. Like Netflix is winning. Like, I mean, you when you can get Will Smith to say, you know what, I'm gonna do a movie for Netflix. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Then you know where the money's going to now. So who knows? Who knows, bro? Who knows? I just miss going to the movie theaters. I don't miss paying the prices though. I don't miss going to pay $8 something to see a movie, but I go and doing matinee hours majority of the time. But
And we're back.
yes, as far as miracles go, miracles come and go like the wind blow, but actually people don't realize these days when a miracle is
You're
being
about to start kicking a freestyle.
oh yeah.
Hold on, I
Yeah.
wasn't ready. Get the beat
Yeah,
going.
yeah, man. You know what's funny? It almost started coming to me for a second. I was like, nah, don't do it. Don't do it. Now, but yeah, bro, it's miracles are actually been around us. A lot of us don't even really remember what miracles really are sometimes. You know, we use that term, but a lot of us don't even really know what it really is anymore. You know what I mean? Like the simplest thing, what could be a miracle to you, right? Like you said, that snow, right? That snow could have been a miracle in a way. For me, I looked at it in a different light as in remember good memories, a miracle of knowing and remembering and having good memories upon myself of all the good times. That's a miracle, right? A miracle could be the situation like us right now. Right back in the day, you had to fight hard to really be able to stay in communication with someone. You really did, man. You had to work hard. Like just imagine, like, man, you go back 15 years ago, right? We would say maybe like 15, 17 years ago, bro. We wouldn't been doing what we're doing right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You either got to have somebody's number or you got to personally know them or go traveling somewhere and randomly run into them. You know what I'm saying? So the chase back then was a trip. So I'm not getting away from what I'm saying about miracles, but what I'm saying is certain things, a miracle could be the positivity in the conversation that we're having because you're bouncing off good energy. And
Right.
that's that, and the world needs that miracle without a doubt. You know what I mean? You know,
Yeah.
like we said earlier about a simple smile and a simple hello, that's a miracle because you made somebody that was looking down, walking, not giving you no eye contact, look up and be surprised and be like, "Wow, you spoke to me? You have a good one too. Thank you. You know what I'm saying?" And then they actually might be smiling, walking back away. You know what I'm saying? So miracles are kind of around us at all times, bro. So it's like we just don't know what they are sometimes.
Yeah. You know, wise man once told me, asked, how many miracles are there in a day? You know, it's as many as you want to see. You know, because even just our existence, because everything, because we're creatures of contingency. You know, of just like, all right, me being alive is contingent on there being clean air, like that I'm able to breathe, and the air being here, the earth being here, of the earth not being hit by a giant meteor that takes us out. You know what I mean? Where everything, because like space is violent. There's constantly planets and stars exploding and getting took out like here and there, everywhere. But yeah, the Earth's just been the little blue ball that could, man. All these
Yeah.
millions of years or whatever.
Hey, you just made me think about something, bro. Randomly, you said all that stuff exploding in space. That's Star Wars.
Yeah. You know, whenever you're having a bad day, you gotta keep going, because you gotta remember that you're the little sperm that made it. So you gotta keep pushing for your million little homies that didn't make it through, man.
Yeah,
Very true, bro.
In that sense, for all miracles, right?
Yeah, because I think you're already a miracle. Like by you being born into this life, that's a miraculous event. Life itself is astronomically impossible. Like that's one thing how there's a God, because like life itself coming into being is beyond us. So it's just like, yeah, so it's like you're already born. You're born a miracle. So all you have to do is be we're not human doings, we're human beings, right? Just miraculous, because that's already who you are.
Hey man, you might want to put that in the quote, bro, because that was a gem right there. We're not human beings.
I had a
We're
line
not human.
similar to that in a song one time.
I'd
have to look back and find
You
it.
stole it.
I stole it from myself.
Yeah, man. And it's a trip though, because it's like I made a post one time. Like I said, I was telling Steve, I was telling Duels that every now and again I do these it's not really venting, but it's like I do these posts just talking about topics on the day-to-day, kind of like this podcast that we're doing. And I did one, and I walked outside and I literally felt calm for the first time in a long time. And I was looking at the wind blow, and I was like, you can't see the wind, but you can feel it. I said, but you can see it by looking at them trees. You can see it when them birds is flying around in that sky, but you can't see it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? And then I started smiling because I was like, man, I ain't never was really one of those ones that I look at the sky more now than I ever did in my whole life, bro. Like I go out, like where I live at now, I go outside at nighttime and I say, wow. I seen some shooting stars. I never really seen too many of those when I was a kid. I start seeing them more and more now than I ever did before. And I'm like, I need to make a wish or something, because it's like, man, bro, it's like I can't even remember seeing a shooting star. I really can't remember. I've seen a couple of things for the first time in my life. There's a trip that most people don't see all the time. I've seen one snowflake coming down my windshield when I was like 8 years old. I was like, man, that's really cool. And it was really defined too. I mean, it was like art, bro. And I was like, man, that's what a snowflake looks like. That's awesome. I ain't never seen that before. And then I was I was out doing pest control on this house one time. This dude had and they was in an area where in town you can't see the stars. Seemed like they were a lot closer than usual. So he was like, hey, bro, look, Saturn right over there. Look, right there, Mars. He showed me, I was like, oh, bro, like, that's awesome. Like, man, that's pretty cool. So we was smiling, having a conversation. He was like, I said, man, y'all got that like type of inner peace, outer peace. And I understand why that's a miracle. I understand why people try to find that all the time, because everybody wants to find that type of peace where you can shut your brain off and not think about nothing. Like, and if you think about anything, you want to make sure it's something that makes you smile or laugh at least for a second in your mind and out your mouth. So that's a miracle.
And speaking of like different like seeing things for like the first time as a child, I was actually talking about that with my wife the other day. Of like I forget what we were talking about this, but it came over me like the first time like in art class of learning about like primary and complementary colors. It's just like that simple thing, but like it's sad how like people don't get like wowed by the beauty of that simplicity anymore. Just like, like, because the first time I learned that, it's like, what? If I put this color and this color together, like it makes this whole other color, like that like blew my mind, bro. that was
Now
like,
it's like, yeah, no shit.
It's true.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah. I miss that feeling of amazement. You don't get that as much as an adult once you've experienced so many things.
yeah, it's like, like people forget, like, you gotta, like, I don't know, just like look into that amazement of like just like how amazing life is. People forget, we gotta remind ourselves, because like, yeah, like just like the littlest things like that when I was a kid, like boom, that would put me in a whole like imaginary world, whereas man, freaking colors, man.
And
Yeah.
all these new possibilities are popping up. I could do this, I could do that.
You know, another fun
Yeah,
fact, right?
especially as a kid, because you don't really know what's possible in that. You're like,
And this is another thing that's a miracle, right? Something about there's something about uplifting people that I don't think people realize. Like right now, we're having a conversation, right? That is a miracle because of the simple fact that you could bounce good energy off a person, and then they'll pound. You could. That's how you know energy really is real. Like vibrations, vibes, all that stuff. You can feel it, and I've always was able to feel it all the time. That's the reason why.
man, that's what love is, man. It's the law of vibrational energy, man.
Yeah.
And we're
So
in
that's
3
what
different places in the world too.
that's what yeah, man, and that's what that term on that my quote, I call it Vibe Tribe very own. That's what that comes from. And that means a collective of people. It's more than a collective of people. It's a collective of good energy. And I'm not going to even just say good energy, just energy itself, to be able to bounce it off someone. And then, because it's almost like when you're in sync with everyone's thoughts. That's the reason why it seems like everything that we say seems like the next person is like, yeah, I've been through that before. I've been through that situation before. That sounds familiar. It's a reason for that, for a reason. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's a reason, because I noticed that as we was conversating, I was like, man, he know what I'm talking about. He know what I'm talking about. They both know what I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, it's different.
Definitely.
So it's crazy how that happens, man. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. So what you was talking about on the colors, my cousin, she started doing, right now it seems like we're living in a time where you have to become your own income, so to speak, because everyone is becoming entrepreneurs and they're doing all these type of little things. So my cousin, she just randomly came up with an idea. She started doing cups, but not just any old cups. She does these tumblers and she designs them customly to make them look like something super way more fancier than the cup itself. And she takes football teams and she does these glasses, and they look really, really good, man. They look really, really good. So it started taking off. So I said, you don't think nobody gonna buy none of them from you, huh? I said, all right. So she didn't know that my auntie was coming to visit for Christmas and stuff like that. I mean, coming to visit before the holiday. So she came, and I said, I bet my mom got my auntie some that she did for my cousin for Christmas. And then my auntie came there, and I said, she's doing a pretty good job doing this, isn't she? It's my cousin's one of those types. She's kind of like me, you second guess yourself. You know you can do it, but you just second guess yourself a little bit because you don't know what the outcome's gonna be at the end. So you just want to know what the outcome's gonna be, right? So my auntie's like, I'm gonna do another favor. It says they take somebody to know somebody that knows somebody to know somebody, right? So she started grabbing. She said, you know what? I'm gonna get my auntie to get one, my other cousin to get one, and I'm gonna get my nieces to get one, and then I'm gonna get your uncle to get one, and then started just flooding it all the way up, right? So my cousin had all this work to do, and they all pay for it and everything, right? So it's supporting her idea. So what ended up happening, then I ended up getting one. And a female friend of mine ended up getting one. And then she started spreading it all the way down the lines, telling other people to get one. The next thing you know, she went from 10 people doing it for her. Now she up to 60 people.
Now they got other people coming in now. Now she finna get a DBA. She finna get all that stuff going because she really loves it now. So I told her, I said, you don't realize the kind of gift that you have, do you? I said, you know how to do hair, you know how to do photography, you know how to do real estate, you are a manager, you also went to school for something else. I can't remember what the other thing was. But then I said, on top of that, you're trying to become your own entrepreneur again. So I said, it's something in her that made her realize, like, wow, I really can do this, can I? I really can do this, can I? And I was like, thought back to the miracles again. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, the simplest things that you tell somebody, I believe in you. You can do it. You just got to believe in yourself. That's all you need to do. And that's a miracle in itself. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah,
No,
that's
yeah.
for a lot of people. You know, a lot of people are like, because there's no one who's not gifted. Everyone is gifted
Mhm.
some way or another. You know, I mean, we all got different gifts and use them a little differently. But like everyone's gifted. You know, and it's just a matter of like, yeah, someone coming along and like telling you, like, hey, you know, like you're really gifted here. You know, you need to use that. And because you know, you like a lot of people just don't like even like realize their gifts, you know, like even just that, like just like realizing how gifted they are, you know, and like yeah, when someone comes along and is like, hey, you know, you got something special here, I'm gonna get all my people to like invest in you, like it's like you know that's a huge blessing right there, you know. Yeah, I think yeah, just like um, I think that's really important of just like pointing out to people like what their gift is because I think a lot of people just don't realize their gift. And once you point that out, I think that can really build a lot of inspiration.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. And it's just like
like I don't know y'all personal lives, but what I can tell from both of y'all that y'all very talented people. I just can tell. You know what I'm saying? Because you know that's a talent to be able to what they say. You know, you feel like you know someone, even though you might not say 2 words to them, but you feel like you know them. You just kind of feel like you already knew them already. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember back in the day, that's how you know who your friends are half the time before you even become friends. You start for what you start for the simplest conversation they might have been talking about, who knows, sports, a pair of shoes, a pretty girl, who knows, man. You know, it could have been the simplest things, but sometimes you be like, oh man, we kind of click, man. Like you the same interests. Okay, cool. You
But
know,
like when Steven and I met each other for the first time was back in college, and like I don't really even remember any of like our first conversations, but I just knew I was like, yo, like this is my road dog, like forever.
yeah, yeah, bro.
Oh, we got
Yeah,
into
man.
some trouble back then.
Hey, this is a PG podcast. We won't be sharing it.
I'm not going into details. Yeah.
I feel you, bro. I totally feel you, man. I know what you're saying. And
Yeah,
it's
you
a
know, back in college, coming into age, like I told you, man, like yeah, like you know, I was a wild one, but yeah, you know,
yeah. Tell me if tell me if I'm wrong though. Just tell me if I'm really wrong.
you
I'm
know,
hoping.
thank God he put me with you know, a good woman to be my wife.
Yeah, bro. But tell me if I'm wrong. Were both of y'all skateboarders? Or
Not really.
Not really.
Nah.
No. Okay.
No.
I don't know why, but I kind of get. I felt like I felt like y'all probably skateboarded or something. I
I
don't know
tried
why.
a few times, but yeah, I got hurt.
Yeah, I had a lot of
It
skateboarding
wasn't
friends,
dangerous.
but I sucked, man.
Yeah, that was terrible. I tried.
You know, crazy thing I seen, man. The crazy thing I seen was I have a female friend that's been following me for a while. She's a teacher, and there's a skate ring out here, and she was like, "Oh man, you gotta come and skate." I was like, "Ah, I don't got those legs like that." Huh? She was like, "Oh no, you need to get back out of here, get you some." She said, "No, we're not talking about rollerblades, huh? We're talking about all fours, rolling around. We're going back old school. I was like, oh man. And then I looked at it and I was like, man, these people are really like you see it on IG, you see it on Facebook. These people are really rolling. Where are you finding these at? Matter of fact, where did these 4 rolling wheels come from all of a sudden? Where did they have them stored up at? I just wanted to know. But they were showing me that these people were skating, having fun. And I was like, bro, just imagine how it was in the 70s and the 80s when people were doing that stuff, bro. They probably had to feel like, even 90s too, it must have felt really free to be able to have fun and see that, because I haven't seen anybody on rollerblades or roller skates in probably about 10 years. And I'm not even kidding, bro. I haven't seen
Right.
nobody on that.
We used to
So
do that like every Friday. Go to the roller rink and shit as a kid.
Yeah, if you go out to Cali, you'll find a lot.
oh, I
It's the
believe it.
people,
We got
you know,
we got a lot of skate parks out
they
here.
try to put pressure on it sometimes. Like sometimes, like a skate park will close down, or they'll try to like, but there's still a lot of skaters in Cali.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. Like my friend, he's a doctor now, but him and his buddy, they're skateboarders. They do the skateboard thing, and it's a trip to me because it's it's a trip to me um because they're really like trying to be like Tony Hawk. They're really trying to be like Tony Hawk, bro. And so one of the guys, and they're real skateboarders too. I'm not gonna lie, they really are, because I be watching these tricks and stuff. I was like, nah, you guys ain't no amateurs, man. Y'all really be doing that stuff. And I was like, one guy was like, nah, bro, I'm getting kind of old. He's like, nah, Tony Hawk can be almost 50 years old. He can do it. I still do it. I know I can still do it. And he's just skating
Tony
around.
Hawk's been skating for a while, man.
Yeah, man. For a while, skateboarding was so big, bro. Like when I see skateboarding became video games.
Oh man, yeah, when it became a video game, it took
That's
off.
that's when it really blew up. Like that
I
pro
had
skater.
that game. Yeah.
Everybody had that game, man. Everybody and their mama had that game.
Yeah, Tony Hawk was the dude, bro. Like Tony Hawk had his own shoes. I mean, he had everything, man. I was just like Tony Hawk was the man. Still is though, still is, man. But and speaking of video games, like I'm not a gamer. I've seen more people become gamers now. My dad's still a gamer. Like he's in his mid-50s, and my other friend was like, your dad plays video games? I was like, yeah, my grandpa too. Yeah. I'm not kidding. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you find your own interest in everything. And so my dad would talk about back in the day, the Ataris and all that stuff. And he's like, you kids don't know nothing. He's like, yeah, I think y'all really into something now. We've been doing that. Like, we've been doing that. So I started thinking, I was like, when was the last time I really was a gamer? And it got to be a special game for me to really play it. But what I do remember, man, me and my brother, man, we had all of the systems. And it wasn't purposely that we ended up having, we just ended up having every one. We had the very first Nintendo, then we had the Sega, never had a Super Nintendo though. I remember the Sega Genesis, we had that Sega Saturn. Then it went to like Nintendo 64 came around, so we went to the PlayStation. Had the very first PlayStation, the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, the GameCube, Dreamcast, the Wii, the Xbox, all the way up until I don't know about that PlayStation 5. I ain't gonna speak on that one, but we had a lot of games. We had all type of games. We still got all of the original games from Nintendo to this day. Like, bro, our brother's like he's never.
Kept them?
What's up, bro?
You say you still kept them? All the
Yeah. We still got all that, bro. We still got all of it. My brother's like, I'm never getting rid of it. Never.
No, don't. Yeah, that's memorabilia. That's collector's items now.
Yeah, man. Like from the 80s all the way up now, man. We still got all that stuff, bro. And I said to myself, like, my dad and my brother, they still be playing the game. I don't know what music is what made me go out of playing games. That's the reason why I don't really play games as much as I used to. But my favorite game I used to love playing when everybody was playing Mortal Kombat, I was playing. It wasn't really Street Fighter. I love playing Taken. That was my favorite game. I love playing Taken. And, what was y'all guys' favorite game system?
Yeah, I grew up almost always playing Madden. I've had Madden since like 92, 93.
God dang.
Yeah, playing on a computer.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I remember that.
we
Yeah.
used to
Yeah, I remember.
have like little Madden tournaments back in college too.
Man. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that, man, because I would see people doing that all the time, bro. Like all the
Yeah,
time. Like what
that
about
was the thing. Like we had like betting uh betting tournaments. You know what I'm saying? Like
mm,
everybody put in like $5-10 and have
Mhm,
a little Madden tournament in the dorms.
mhm.
that'd be fun.
Oh, yeah, I could believe it, man, because I've seen how serious they were about Madden. They was like, you don't know nothing about Madden. You ain't got this. You ain't get this year. You ain't got this year. You get. We be getting that next year. I was like, yeah,
That
bro.
was probably one of the most mild things that we that we
Right. I'm
did.
already getting shit for not having 21. So
See, I remember. You know what the funny is? Like, I didn't really play as many sports games. I played NBA 97 up to whatever year. But I remember like football wise. I remember when NFL Extreme came out, I think it was,
yeah.
and then Blitz came out. But the
Hmm.
only thing about I didn't know what I was playing when I played NFL Extreme. When NFL Extreme came out, I didn't know what I was playing. Like me and my dad was just randomly like playing against each other, and my brother was playing against each other, and I got really pissed because I was losing, and I kept thinking in my mind, I wish I could just punch his player, right? So I tapped like I tapped the button, the X button, and he went boom, knocked that player out, and I was like, "Whoa, what is
Yeah,
this, bro?" I didn't
I do
know. I
remember
didn't
that a
know.
little bit.
So it had me laughing because I couldn't stop. We could not stop laughing because I was like, I cannot believe you just punched that player. And then it went from that to NFL Blitz coming out, and then they just got crazy after that. But it was just amazing to me, like the fun factor of video games. Man, now they're focused more on making the game look so real and taking away from all the fun play now. You know what I mean? So it's not like it used to be when you just play the game and you just having fun. It's more like let's make it real, real, real looking. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
y'all was sports players on the games pretty much, huh?
My
Oh, I
you're talking about playing
played
with your
all
dad.
sports.
Mm-hmm.
I was a pretty big gamer, but like sports definitely because like I always like even my little brother and I would play together a lot. So that's why we would play like the Maddens and the NBA 2Ks and all that. And then,
Mm-hmm.
and I really like the fighting games like Tekken too, but all of them, Street Fighter, Virtua Fighter. I like all those. But like my little brother sucked at the fighting game. So
Oh, I was terrible too. Yeah, that was not my
even
niche.
my favorite part about playing video games really is just like to smash on my little bro and be like, yeah, who's the big brother?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's funny? I know for a fact that I motivated my brother becoming an ultimate gamer because he always was into playing games, bro. But
Yeah,
I know
my
for
little
a
brother
fact.
too, man. He would just want to beat me so bad, so he'd be in there practicing, man.
The only thing, hey, that's another thing too. That's what I miss growing up. Back in the day, bro, we used to always be at the arcades, bro. Man, we used to go to this place called Green Acres, and it was nothing in the place called Natchitoches. It was a place called Natchitoches, and man, Green Acres came around. They had go karts. It had the arcade. It had batting cages and putt and all that stuff. So it was a little entertainment place, and boy, we used to stay over there going to play them video games, man. And
Hmm.
that's what made me. I miss all that stuff, man. I miss going to Blockbuster, Imagination Video, whatever. You were in those rental places, and going to rental games sometimes. Sometimes I miss all that type of stuff, man, because I'm just like, man, bro, back in the day, you used to fight for your happiness.
Hmm.
And whatever your happiness was, no matter if you went and rented a movie
no matter what you did, you fought to get that happiness, and that's a miracle back then too. That's also going back to the
Yeah,
miracle.
there's something about really, having to go through something and earn what you want. Everything's just, almost like it's nice that things are convenient, but it's almost like things are a little too convenient to where like they're like, hey, everyone's inside now, and you're like, oh, okay.
You don't get to appreciate it anymore.
Yeah, because you're just like, oh, I can get anything right here from the internet now. It's like all readily available. Netflix, you got all your movies and TV, like, you got your video games, like whatever you could do, you could do it right from your computer. Where before it's like, yeah, you got to go to the Blockbuster, like, even video games now, everyone just like plays online or single player. But before it was like, this event, like, I don't know if y'all were nerdy enough to have like LAN parties, but it'd be like, we get a group, like, we'd have 10, 15 friends who are like all playing together under one roof. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't ever see that kind of thing now, unless you go to like some kind of internet cafe or something. But
it's hard to find a multiplayer game now. Yeah, you can only play online if you want to play somebody now.
You're very right. Because I used to play a game back in the day. I don't know if you ever heard of it, called Vigilante 8. I'm sure you heard of Twisted Metal. I'm sure you heard of Road Trip. All those games like that, man. Demolition Derby, Need for Speed, California Speed, Gran Turismo. I mean, you can go, the list goes on and on. But it's just crazy to me, the fun factor. Like he said, those games have gotten so filtered up with storylines now, whereas it went from being dual player to one player. And you got to keep passing the remote control back and forth, pretending to be like playing a game with each other. So you got to pass it here. You want some happiness? Here you go. You want to pass me back to my happiness? So it's like, it's crazy, man, how it used to be.
Yo, by the way, y'all, I don't mean to cut you off, but we got about 3 minutes left here on the thing, and we'll wrap it up.
All right, then, bro.
Right. Yeah, this has been good. Good podcast. Went over a lot more than I thought I was planning on going over.
Yeah, one of our longer episodes. Thanks for coming on, though,
Tyro. It's been fun.
Bro. Oh yeah, man. It's appreciate getting to know both of y'all, man. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we get tired of just talking to each other. It's good to have a guest on.
Yeah, I'm tired of Steven.
Not to filter out the last couple of minutes, but what's crazy though? Did either one of you ever see podcasting becoming the thing?
No.
This is everybody's way of being social without being on IG, without being on Facebook, whatever social media platform. Everybody's podcasting now.
Right.
And
I didn't think any of this.
The first time I ever seen podcasts, I used to have an MP3 player that had called Sansa, and it showed podcasts on it. And that was way back in like 2010, 2013. When I seen that on there, I said, "What is that?" And look where we're at now.
Yeah, first time I saw a podcast and learned what it was, I was like, I'm never gonna watch anybody's podcast.
Yeah, me too. That's so funny. I had the same thought. And,
why the hell would I do that?
Yeah, but it's very podcasts. They're the new thing, man. They're very interesting, but because everyone is not just looking at celebrities talk, interview other celebrities. People are looking at other celebrities are looking at random people's podcasts and learning from them to go take their questions and go pass it to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Either way it go, I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, well, because they have the marketing. Like, if you have like something cool on your podcast and like, and they're like looking for like whatever marketing angle they want to go to, they'll take that, and then just use all the marketing team and big producers that they have to turn it into like a real program. And because like I mean they do that crap for music too. Like like a lot of those big artists, like they're stealing so much from some of the less known cats, and it's really obvious. Like you listen, if you're paying attention to the air, like to the sound coming up and everything, you know, you hear that, you know, in their sound as it's like they never sounded like that before. They were always sounding the same, but all of a sudden they switched up their style. You know, it's like,
Yep, they be trying to become the ultimate #1 podcast, and then they all say they're #1. You know what I'm saying? Not all of y'all are #1. Like,
Yeah, can't everybody be #1?
I'm gonna be like Jet Li. I'm gonna be like Jet Li. Will be the one.
yeah, I love Jelly. All right. Jet Li, Jackie Chan, or Bruce Lee? Boom, go.